Today, we're doing something really near and dear to my heart. It's smoked pork ribs. It's really kind of what got me into the business. I use a 2 1/4 to a 2 1/2 and down St. Louis style rib. You notice the tine bone's been removed. What we do first is take off this silver skin that's always on the underside of the rib. I'm going to come up to that first bone and just pull that skin back with your knife. Use a nice clean towel and just get it started right there. Most people don't do this, and after you've had ribs with this removed, you'll notice when people leave it on me in the future, that is a very tough membrane right there.
Yeah, this is like plastic.
Doesn't allow the smoke to permeate the rib, doesn't allow the seasoning to, and it also makes it tough. So that is a very critical first step. Now I'll go ahead and finish the rest of these off, season them up, and we'll get them on a pit. A little bit of olive oil. Rub that in. This is a special dry rub that I use. I'm not going to give you the exact recipe, but you can buy dry rub commercially at almost any grocery store or over the internet. There's some good ones out there. Okay, pack that on in. Just be careful not to get one that has a lot of sugar in it or it'll burn. This side. Just continue the process over and over. This is a very important part of the whole process. This is the mesquite wood fire. We use indirect heat. The fire's down here in the box. Runs up through the pit, and that's where the meat is actually cooked. There's a long distance from the heat of the fire to the meat where it's actually doing the job. This fire's been going for about 30 minutes. We're getting a pretty good bed of coals built up. I'm gonna go ahead and knock it down and add a little bit more wood. All right, we just put the ribs on. You see they're just now kind of starting to sweat. Try to keep our fire somewhere in the neighborhood of 280 to 300 degrees. I smoke ribs a little hotter than I do brisket. Good bed of coals going. About time to add one more stick, shut her up and go inside and start doing prep work for tomorrow. Alright, they've been on about 2 hours. Let's take a look and see what we got. They're taking on a lot of smoke, but they're really not started cooking yet. You see that one's beginning to pull up off the bone a little. Get on up in here. See what the rest of them look like. Yeah, that's starting to sweat a little. A couple more hours. Maybe a little longer. We'll just wait and see. There ain't nothing exact about this. Alright, we are at a little over 3 hours. Let's see how we're looking. They're beginning to pull up off the bone a little bit. I'd say we got about an hour left. Let's stoke up the fire and finish them off. Alright, here's the ribs as they come off the pit. They've been on for about 4.5 hours. Now, as you can tell, they're not cooked hardly at all. They've just been absorbing mesquite smoke for that entire time. And now I'm going to show you how to make them tender, fall off the bone tender. Okay, the next step for the ribs is to double wrap them, first in plastic wrap, and then in aluminum foil, and then they're going to go into a preheated 350-degree oven. This is a little bit complicated. Believe it or not, plastic wrap will not talking about. Okay, the last step is sauce them back in the oven for just a few minutes, and then we're done. This is my homemade barbecue sauce, and unfortunately I'm not going to give out that recipe, or I would have to kill you. Just a nice layer of sauce on each one. I'll go ahead and continue to do the whole sheet pan. Then they will go into the oven for about 5 to 7 minutes, and it's a little hotter oven. I've cranked it up to about 425, and then it's time to eat them. All right, the long process is finally over with. That's your finished product. Mesquite smoked pork ribs. We're gonna tear them up tomorrow. Actually, we're gonna quality check on here pretty quick. What do you think? Pardon me, my mouth's full. Fall off the bone tender. Delicious.
This is the rib cooked by Chef John Parker. We're going to try this out. Oh, look at that. Just comes right off. Oh, man. That is delicious.